Hello everyone, my name is Apoorv Balpande. I have secured the All India rank of 546 in this year's UPSC examination. Uh, Being a student of UPSC and having interacted with so many aspirants, I think one of the major things that I have seen is that there are a lot of issues, lot of problems and a lot of misconceptions with respect to how to handle the science and technology. I hope through this session, I am able to answer all your queries and solve all your doubts with respect to science and technology. In my opinion, science and technology is one of the most underrated subjects of the UPSC. This is because most of the candidates, they neglect it. They have a lot of misconceptions with respect to science and technology, such as they think that firstly, it's a very dicey subject, that it cannot be predicted. Secondly, with respect to what source to read, many think that we cannot read a particular source and get marks through it. So candidates, they tend to neglect it. I hope this session will help you to master the art of science and technology, particularly in the prelims. So firstly, I think the marks scoring potential of science and technology is very high. You can easily get 15 to 20 marks competitive edge in the prelims if you focus a lot on science and technology, because the other subjects such as history, polity, economics, almost everyone is going to focus on it. Everyone is going to read the same material, such as Lakshmikant for polity, Shankarayas for environment. But ignoring science and tech, it costs candidates valuable marks, almost 15 to 20 marks in the prelims. So you can easily clear even the forest cutoff through this science and technology. I have been clearing it since the last 3 years, and one of the reasons is that I always get at least 8 to 10 or even 12 questions correct in the prelims on the science and technology. So let me help you in this regard. You can see here that in 2024, almost 13 questions were asked. In 2023, 15 questions were asked. In 2022, 11. So the basic point is that a lot of scoring potential is there. And if you focus a lot, then definitely your marks will increase by a significant margin. Again, science and technology, it is not just asked from the core science and technology part, but also it can have interlinkages, such as with environment, with current affairs. For example, they can ask about Nobel Prize. So there will be questions where directly physics or chemistry Nobel Prize questions can be asked, or in a subtle manner, such as they will give in one of the options of the science and technology. As you can see, bisphenol A, this is with respect to plastic. So current affairs, environment and science and technology all have been linked in a single question over here. PYQs, if you closely analyze, then you will find terms like metaverse, internet of technology, internet of things, artificial intelligence. So it is very important to be thorough with all these terms. For example, in 2024, the question asked was metaverse. So we have to know about the current cutting edge technologies. Now, if you look in the current sphere, then Facebook had launched the meta version of Facebook. So here we can see it's an interoperable network of 3D virtual worlds. So here various users can simultaneously coexist and connect with each other in the cybersphere. So basically that is metaverse. So let's now decode the syllabus. One of the major concerns among aspirants is that what to read, what not to read, because they feel that the syllabus is very dicey. So now let's try to decode the syllabus. Okay. So in the UPSC, from UPSC's perspective, the first is general science. Now this reflects the NCERTs from the core biology, core physics and core chemistry portion. So here the issues that negligible questions have been asked, very few. For example, recently the prebiotics and probiotics questions was asked. Again, before that, the dolly ship question, which is in the science and tech NCERT, that was asked. But the questions are very far and few in between. So just focus on the core aspects. You can skip the minute details, can be skipped over here. The major focus has to be on this part, national and international importance. Now, if you look at the national importance, then we can see particularly from the space point of view, there is ISRO has been making many advances in science and technology, making India proud on the global scale. Similarly, in the biotechnology as well, we have various labs, IR networks, which are focusing on, for example, Genome India project. So where sequencing of genetic data of 10,000 Indians has happened. So we have to focus on these aspects. Then the new technologies in the global sphere, such as Meta, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, more biotechnology. We have to focus on this. The CRISPR-Cas9, recently it was in news for as a tool of genetic engineering. So that we have to focus for getting marks. Now, if you analyze the PYQs, which is the very most fundamental aspect of clearing the UPSC, then in the prelims PYQs, you will realize that there are certain themes broadly from which questions are being asked in the prelims. Firstly is the space technology, then defense, biotechnology, nanotechnology, IT and communication, that is AI, blockchain, etc. Then energy-based, solar energy, etc. Then environmental link questions. So these are the broad areas. And dwelling further into it, if you look at the space technology, then here ISRO is very important topic. Whatever ISRO is doing, be it in the current aspect, if you look at, then the Chandrayaan mission is there, then Gaganyaan mission, upcoming Gaganyaan mission is there. So upcoming space docking exercise will be conducted. So all these missions, you have to be very thorough in it. For example, if you look at Chandrayaan, then 3 question was asked, like what are the basic objectives, such as the objective will be like distribution of water, distribution of mineral elements over here, the energy, such as whether we are finding helium ions or not. So these are the aims of these missions. So we have to know what the mission is and what specialty is there. For example, in the upcoming space docking exercise, we are going to be the 4th nation to do the space docking. So we have to know all these things. Then what are the international collaborations that ISRO is doing, such as the NCERT satellite. That will be collaboration between India and USA. The Gaganyaan, here we are taking help of France as well as Russia. Then the Aditya L1 mission as well. So the international collaboration and the missions, these are very important. Then comes the launch vehicles such as GSLV Mark 3. So here it has different stages like solid stage engine, then liquid stage, then the cryogenic engine. So we have to know what the cryogenic engine is, because these are the basic questions, and being thorough with basic information about this is very important. Then we can see the defense technology. Now here DRDO has been undertaking a series of initiatives in this regard as well. For example, one of the major reforms is of Indian national security architecture is the indigenization of the defense. So here we have, for example, recently INS Vikramaditya, the aircraft carrier, we have indigenously constructed it. Then we have achieved the nuclear triad, much coveted nuclear triad in the defense sector as well. So defense technology is very important. Then biotechnology. In biotechnology, it is largely the DNA technology and few terms that are needed, that need to be revised very thoroughly. You might remember when the corona was there, then ACE2 receptor, that was a lot in news. Regularly reading the newspaper or even Googling it about corona, you will regularly find in the news about ACE2 receptor. So UPSC asked the question on that. Again, vaccines were a lot in news. So UPSC asked question on vaccines as well, like Covishield vaccine, I think Sputnik vaccine, this question was asked. Then the Human Genome Project, as we recently talked about, even in that as well, UPSC can ask. And upcoming a new Human Genome Project is going to be launched, which will sequence over 1 million human genomes. So currently it's only 10,000, but now in future 1 million genomes are going to be sequenced. So basic DNA technology, what sources to read, we will come to that in a few minutes. But you have to focus on these terms. That is the basic theme. Then comes the nanotechnology. For example, what are basically the nano materials? If you go into the definition, then even a single dimension, if it is less than 100 nanometers, then that component becomes nano material. So what are the special changes that happen when we delve into the realm of the nanotechnology? Such as, you need to know about that, such as when the size reduces by considerable amount, then surface area to volume, it increases. So as it increases, then the strength, it rises to very abnormal proportions. So strength increases. Then as we know that all the elements, they have dual nature, wave as well as particle nature. So, and the nanoscale, the particle nature, it starts to dominate. So that is basically nanotechnology. Here as well, we will have to know about the graphene, carbon nanotubes, etc. The basic applications of nanotechnology. Then we come to the IT and communication. Now, along with the space, IT and communication is one of the most important topics for prelims as well as for mains. In IT, we can see the new age technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, the metaverse, Web 3.0, and questions are being regularly asked on this. Since last year, there was Web 3.0 question. Then Internet of Things question has been asked on that. Then even in the realm of blockchain, we are going for de-dollarization on the global sphere. So cryptocurrency plays a very important role in that. So it is very much in news. Then the RBI has launched the CBDC. Even that as well, it is based on the blockchain itself. So we have to be very thorough with this. We not just have to know what these technologies are, but also how they are different from other technologies. Intelligence, like different from deep web, how it is different from the dark net that comes in the news. So we need to be thorough with these topics. And also 5G. Regularly auctions have been held on the 5G. It is a lot in news as well, because the companies, they are not utilizing the 5G spectrum that has been allocated to it. So recently the spectrum allocation policy, I think it was also changed so that the allocation, it becomes more feasible and more interest is generated in this. So we have to learn about this as well. So then comes the energy part. In the energy, you have to be very updated with respect to what is happening on the national as well as international scale. For example, in the national scale, we are increasingly moving towards renewable energy. So the government's policy of biofuel, we are aiming to have 20% blending of with the ethanol, the petroleum blending. That we have to know what biofuels are. A question has already been asked. Then solar, so solar fuel cells, solar technology, how we are able to store it, such as in the West, sun in the box technology has been developed. So we have to be thorough with this current news. Recently, the question was asked on the hydrogen fuel cell as well. So how, whether hydrogen, it can be blended with other gases, whether it can be used directly in the fuel cell. So these types of questions are been asked on the energy front. Then the environment link questions, such as we recently talked about the bisphenol A compound. That question was asked last year. So interlinking of all these questions are being asked with the current affairs, with the environment, and with the science and technology. So that is another sphere. And the eighth is general science, as we have already discussed it. So these are the broad areas to focus in the science and technology for the prelims as well as for the mains. Okay, so moving forward to the sources, what to read, what not to read. So getting sources right is very important, because I've seen many of my fellow aspirants, what the issue they are having is they are not reading the core source from which the questions are being asked, and then year after year they are unable to master the art of getting good marks in the science and technology. So read standard sources, don't go for below par sources that are readily available in the market. For example, I read the class notes of Vajiraman Ravi Institute. So here they had cleared basic doubts and about different technologies and different aspects in the class, not the yellow books. Similarly, you can take whatever your class notes are there for basic information, then you can supplement it with the current affairs. Current affairs, such as you can read the Science and Tech page which comes in Hindu. That weekly it comes once. You can read that. That is very important. Then PIB is a very good source. Then the current affairs magazines. You can read the Visions PT. Either you can read the compilation or monthly. Here, be very selective, because they go in a lot of detail. Don't go too much into the depths. Just analyze the PYQs, decode it from which basic themes they are asking, and do very selectively read it, such as Nobel Prizes. It must be done in very detail. Nobel Prizes, be it physics, chemistry, biotechnology, that must be mastered. Then come the supplementary sources. Here, this is optional. If you want to enhance your knowledge, then you can selectively read the Yojana or the Science Reporter magazines. Here, you will get the information of what India is doing in the science and technology sphere, as well as what the global technological developments are with respect to the cutting edge technologies. So this is the sources. So moving on to the strategy, how to decipher what is important and how to master it. Strategy has to be, there are 5 key points which you have to follow. Firstly, conceptual clarity is very important in science and tech based questions, because they are not just asking you about the technology, but they are also asking you with respect to differentiating the technologies or the concepts, such as probiotics versus prebiotics, AI versus ML, or recently we can see that what Web 3.0 basically is. So you need to know the advantages of it, such as it is a decentralized system. Since it is decentralized, there is a security and privacy related advantages to it. Then it is faster than the earlier web technologies. Then moreover, differences like what is virtual reality, what is augmented reality, so what is mixed reality. You need to know the basic differences between them, and it is not too difficult. You just need to have a basic understanding. You can watch the videos on YouTube as well for this. Then comes the second point, that is revising it regularly. Often what happens is that we can get very confused with respect to science and technological terms because we are more focused on the humanities subject. We are focusing on mucking up the polity, on the economics, the history related from the spectrum, from the NCERTs. So often we neglect the science and technology, and it can be very confusing. So revise it multiple times, take out your own notes, write it in short words, in your own words, and revise it regularly so that there are no confusion when you go for the prelims. Then third pillar of your strategy will be mock tests. Now mock tests, these are important for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, it will help you getting familiarized with the MCQs so that you do not get the surprise element which you might get if you are not adequately solving it. That will be eliminated. Secondly, second advantage of mock test is that many of the questions that are asked in the test, they are from the current aspect, such as you will already be thorough with many of the questions, such as the new technologies, AR, AI, VR, the cryptocurrency, the blockchain. You will already go through all these technologies in your mock tests. You can solve any, such as vision sectional mock test is there, then simulator of forum is there, then Digicate IS tests are there. You can solve this, and at the end of these tests, the explanation is given. So you can read that as well to have a better conceptual understanding. So now the fourth important pillar is previous year questions. Now, whether you are giving prelims, whether you are giving mains, or whether you are giving interview, in all the three stages, this is the most important thing to do. Analyze the trends, analyze from which themes questions are being asked. I have already explained to you the core 6 or 7 themes from which questions were asked, but you can still go further deep into it. Try to find out the common sense through which you can do the elimination of the options. For this, PYQs is the most important. Analyze the trends. For example, recently the question was asked was Wolbachia method. Now it was in news for many years because it is a technique of eliminating the disease spread from mosquitoes. So this was regularly in news. Then through PYQs, you can do logical grouping of the options, such as the question on accelerometer. So it is used in vehicles, it is used in our day-to-day appliances as well, such as mobiles, etc. But you have to do the logical grouping via the PYQ trends. Another example with PYQ is that recently application-based questions, then DNA barcoding was asked in the biotechnology syllabus. So if you know the basic thing, such as in DNA barcoding, you can differentiate between different species, such as DNA fingerprinting is there. So in these technologies, you can differentiate between different species or different individuals, because that's what genome mapping or DNA mapping does. But finding the age, that was the first option, was find whether you can find the age. We know that it is the carbon dating technology which finds the age. So such elimination techniques can be mastered if you are thorough with the current affairs. Also, we have to be liberal in our thinking with respect to the application of the technology, or with respect to what is possible in science and technology. Such as in the microorganisms question, the question was whether you can find microorganisms below the freezing point or above the boiling point or in very acidic environment. So we have to be liberal. Microorganisms can be found everywhere. Even in we can find that the space, the microgravity experiments, they happen over there. So even there we can find microorganisms. So we have to be liberal in our thinking, and this elimination technique, you can get it by PYQ analysis. The fifth pillar is the focus on priority areas. The priority areas are whatever is happening in the current affairs, the breakthrough technology which are being developed, what are the government schemes, what is ISRO doing, what are the DRDO's initiatives. All these things are the priority areas. For example, in the current affairs, they asked us recently that China, it had developed a missile which can go into the orbit, and then by circulating in the Earth's orbit, it can eject the missile at any given time, at any given position. So the air defense against such missiles, it ceases to work. So that technology was fractional orbital bombardment system, which China had developed. So we got the question in the prelims. Again, in the COVID, as we have already discussed, there was the question with respect to ACE2 receptors, then with respect to vaccines, then the new age technologies like quantum computing. So the question was on qubit. So all these questions are being asked from the priority areas. So if you are thorough with this, you will definitely be able to score good, and you can get that advantage of 15 to 20 marks in the prelims. So this was the basic doubt clearing session. I hope I have cleared all your doubts, and I hope that you will increase the focus on science and technology and not neglect it as many of the aspirants are doing. This can really boost your marks. It has boosted my marks. I have cleared the forest cutoff repeatedly since the last 3 years. So I think to master the prelims and to get a competitive edge over the other aspirants, because the competition is very high. So you can definitely get good marks in the prelims by focusing on science and technology. So I hope it has been helpful. Thank you.